Acting President Professor Yemi Osinbajo assures youths of Buhari presidency's commitment to their overall development. Nigeria Air Force commends the Buhari administration's political will in winning the battle against Boko Haram, plus proactive steps to fight armyworm's attack on crops. These and more on today's Panorama. I am Tessie Justin Bison. Thanks for joining us. And kicking off our bulletin this afternoon, the federal government has described the continued attack of crops by armyworm as a threat to national security. It is based on this that the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Abuja, convened a meeting with state commissioners for agriculture on ways to fight the armyworms in the 36 states of the Federation. Musa Baba Aliu completes this report.
The government is concerned over the continued devastation by armyworms on crops since 2016. It is estimated that the worms are in 700,000 maize farms nationwide and over 2 billion naira is needed to wipe out the pest. The meeting with commissioners for agriculture is aimed at looking at the possible method of attacking the armyworm and how to raise the needed funds.
What is carried there is that it has started infesting the cocoa plantation. If care is not taken, I'm going to say my record zero production in maize.
The meeting also discussed cases of avian influenza that have continued to surface in some states.
The impact of the shortage of maize has been severe on poultry. And definitely for a country that's facing food challenges in the Northeast in particular, we can't afford to let it continue.
The armyworm is suspected to have migrated to Nigeria through Benin Republic. Oyo and Kwara states were the first victims. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Key players in the water sector have been challenged to develop a comprehensive national water security policy and strategy that will enhance its ability in quality and quantity in the country. The acting president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, said this in a message to a conference organized by the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPSS in Abuja. Olainka Ojo reports.
Water security is fast becoming a source of concern in Nigeria, given the rapid population growth, fears of effects of global warming, and competition between diverse interests such as grazing, irrigation, urban water supply, and competition between upstream and downstream users. With providing basic water services and addressing growing scarcity still requiring attention, Acting President Yemi Osinbajo, represented by the Minister of Water Resources, Suleiman Adamu, says government will stop at nothing in ensuring water security, as it is an important catalyst of Nigeria's survival.
It is imperative that we look at all those critical issues, that we allow for equal and equitable distribution of water resources across this country.
The Ministry of Defense is committed to best practices in water management and is encouraging research into viable technologies that will ensure more effective use and availability of water for defense needs.
Acting Director General, National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, Jonathan Juma, reiterated the Institute's commitment to profiling strategic options for a better society, as the session is designed to approach new dimension and perspective in the current discourse on water security, also captured in Sustainable Development Goals 6.
The National Institute engages in cutting-edge investigation into matters pertinent to national development.
We are duty-bound to develop our water resources with a view to improving access to safe drinking water and irrigation water.
In his paper entitled Water Security in Nigeria Towards a Comprehensive National Policy, Executive Director, National Water Research Institute, Kaduna, Dr. Emmanuel Adanu, noted the need for inland waterways to be secured.
Those waters generated internally ends up in Nigeria or in the ocean.
Other speakers also stressed the need for transboundary cooperation. In Abuja, Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
The acting president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, has scored Cross River State government high on employment generation for the people of the state. He stated this while inaugurating projects in Calabar. Uduaketim completes the report.
While inaugurating the garment factory, the acting president said the project executed by the Cross River State Governor Ben Ayade, apart from generating employment opportunities to the state, will as well enhance revenue generation to the state and nation. At the monorail project, Professor Osinbajo commended Governor Ayade for the actualization of the project. The acting president had earlier performed groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of Ayade Industrial Park.
This is a very special ceremony because it is a ceremony that tells us what it is.
The acting president was later led on a guided tour to some of Governor Ayade's project sites, which include pharmaceutical factory, rice city, among others. In Calabar, Uduaketim, NTA News.
Meanwhile, at a town hall meeting with the people, acting president Yemi Osinbajo appealed to them to be patient to see the fulfillment of the federal government's promises for the region and the entire nation.
Is on our part, not just a commitment, but we sincerely want to do everything that we have purposed and we have planned to do for this state and for all other states of the Federation of Nigeria. Just listening to you on the ceding of Bakassi as a result of the judgment of the ICJ, this is a development that all of us consider a loss. But the president strongly believes, and I'm sure that many of us know that he has expressed himself several times on this issue, that while we ruminate over the legal issues, we must not allow Nigerian citizens in Ikang and elsewhere to suffer.
He assures youth of the Buhari presidency's commitment towards a great future for every youth of the country. The federal government says it remains committed in protecting the fundamental human rights of all citizens, especially the promotion of freedom of expression of individuals and groups. This was contained in the message of the acting president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, to the 2017 Annual Democracy Day lecture organized by the Save Democracy Group Africa. Political correspondent Abdullahi Garba Birunkudu reports.
The theme for this year's democracy lecture is sustainable democracy and national question. The acting president Yemi Osinbajo says in addressing national question, equity and justice are paramount, of which the present administration remains committed to. Represented by the special advisor to the president on political matters, the acting president says government allows free speech as one of the principles of democracy.
If we are able to resolve these issues, if we are able to banish hunger from our land, if we are able to provide housing for those who are homeless, if we are able to provide education free for our citizens, then of course, the issue of Nigeria question will become a luxury.
Coming from the diverse ethno-cultural background of the country, speakers stress on the need for equity and justice, while political parties must be democratized, not to serve only as vehicles for winning elections.
You need to have a political party that itself is internally democratic.
A well-run democratic system ensures that public institutions manage public resources and conduct public affairs in a manner that is free of corruption and abuse.
Let us go back to true federalism.
The Safe Democracy Group Africa is a non-political group established in 2014 to promote democratic ideas. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Birunkudu, NTA News.
Civil servants have been urged to apply the executive orders as handed over by the acting president for improved business environment and service delivery in the country. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Winifred Oyoita, made the plea while addressing a cross-section of senior civil servants at the State House, Abuja. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday has details.
Support for local content in the public sector procurement in their ministries, departments and agencies dominated the third pattern of the forum. Represented by the Permanent Secretary, Common Services, Chinya Amaka Oha, the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, said efficient implementation of the executive orders will bring about a paradigm shift in the conduct of government business.
It is worthy of note that government is committed to creating transparency in the business environment and enunciation of policies that will motivate investors to invest their funds in profitable business activities in the country.
The executive orders hinges on transparency in the business environment to stimulate the nation's economy in delivering the expected promises to the people. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
The success recorded by the Nigerian military in winning the war against Boko Haram has been attributed to the political will and support of the federal government. Director of Public Relations and Information, Nigerian Air Force, Air Commodore Olatokunbo Adesanya, said this when he visited the Director General, Voice of Nigeria, Osita Okechukwu. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday again completes this report.
Criminals will be discouraged in their...
Air Commodore Olatokunbo Adesanya, answering questions on one of the flagship programs of the Voice of Nigeria, said the force did not lack support in all ramifications.
One of the things that we need to prosecute our campaigns are our aircraft. And the Air Force is one organization that is highly technologically dependent. So we also need a lot of resources to keep these aircraft and the associated ground support equipment functional. I can say that with the current administration, the needed resources have been made available to the Nigerian Air Force.
Voice of Nigeria Director General Osita Okechukwu, who received the spokesman, said the rescue of the Chibok girls was possible due to the military experience of the president.
This is his area of maximum comparative advantage, and he utilized it to rescue Nigeria from such. So did all he could, and also was diplomatic in doing that. Because if you are not diplomatic in doing that, you will kill both the girls and the insurgents. So he decided to separate the wheat from the chaff.
The two organizations agreed to strengthen the partnership that exists between them. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. It's now time to pause for some messages. Panorama continues right after this timeout. Stay with us.
The struggle for independence had been a long and tough one. Our founding fathers and compatriots sacrificed their comfort and even shed their blood. We cannot at this point in history afford to spirit away their sacrifices for immediate but temporary gains of today. Let us emphasize what unites and not what divides us. Working for the unity of purpose with a stronger vision for a better tomorrow. NTA, growing with the nation.
Together, no matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. Let's stop fighting each other. Let us live as one. It doesn't matter where you come from, your tribe or religion, man, woman or child. It doesn't matter who you are. Put Nigeria first. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. How can we develop when we're always in crisis? Families have become refugees in their country. No matter our differences, show some understanding. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
Nigeria, the only country we can train with remarkable potentials to excel. Let us believe in ourselves and change our attitude for the sake of our country and generations unborn. Let us revive our cultural values, which are our essence as a nation. Let us renew the spirit of patriotism and hope in our dear country. Do not take or give bribe. Be punctual always. No more African time. We can't expect to be global citizens and operate on African time. Join the queue. Insist that people are attended to on a first-come basis, no matter who they are or where they come from.
Nigeria, good people, great nation.
Welcome back. You're still on to News Panorama, coming to you live on the network service of the NTA. The federal government has expressed determination to uphold the principles of international protection for all vulnerable persons in the country. Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Sadia Umar Farouk, stated this while distributing food and non-food items at the Nyanya Gwandara Transit Camp. Ado Adamu completes this report.
Nyanya Gwandara Transit Camp, located at the outskirts of Abuja, provide housing accommodation for over 21 families of different nationals who are either refugees or asylum seekers in Nigeria. Recognizing the humanitarian mandate of the Commission and sympathizing with the critical condition of the people, the Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk, says the Commission is intensifying effort to provide protection and assistance to them.
The Commission has also mobilized its resources to commence programs to support economic empowerment as part of the integration process of refugees and other persons of concern.
Governor Tanko Al-Makura of Nasarawa State, represented by his deputy, Silas Agara, commended the federal government effort in dealing with the multi-dimensional humanitarian challenges confronting the nation.
You have changed the face, you have changed the story completely, and you have brought the relief and smiles on the faces of our asylum seekers and IDPs.
The beneficiaries expressed appreciation to the federal government for the hospitality they enjoyed, describing Nigeria as a true brother with the African heart.
From the Gwandara Nyanya refugees camp, Ado Adamu also, NTA News.
The federal government's commitment and concern for improved welfare of citizens has again manifested through the payment of backlog of arrears of a federal government pensioner, Awanye Okehuno, who had been taken off the payroll since January 2010. The Executive Secretary, Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate, Sharon Ikeazo, said the discovery was an attestation of the Directorate's commitment for improved service delivery. Olajide Bello reports.
Awanye Okebuno was compelled to visit the headquarters of Petard as a last-ditch effort to shore up funds for the funeral of his mother, as he is the only child. The discovery, however, came as a pleasant surprise.
I was surprised that when I came today, they said that we have been paid. I was even doubting it. Madam checked and discovered that I have been paid. But since that I placed my name in pension room, but the grace of God is upon my life.
Overwhelmed with this development, he lauded the effort of Petard, urging it not to rest on its oars by diligently discharging its duties. Looking back at the discovery, Executive Secretary, Pension Transitional Arrangement Directorate, Sharon Ikeazo, described it as dividend of concerted efforts through the continuous, rigorous and steady verification and biometric capturing exercise under its mandate for retired workers of the Defined Benefit Scheme. She said Okebuno would continue to receive his monthly payment as at when due without approaching Petard. In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Nigeria will continue to create a conducive environment for the development of sports as a tool for promoting world peace and unity. Minister of Sports and Youth Development, Solomon Dalong, and the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, gave the assurance in Abuja at the maiden edition of Diplomatic Sports Dinner and Award Night. Chukunonso Nwabweze reports.
Sports unarguably is the most effective tool for the propagation of universal peace and integration. This all-important attribute is the reason behind the gathering of members of the diplomatic community resident in Nigeria with their host community to honor those who excelled at the maiden edition of diplomatic sports competition held in 2015 at the National Stadium, Abuja.
We as a country are conscious of the potential sports halls to boost the nation's image.
And we in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will continue to do what we can to give support.
We have come to celebrate and honor our sportsmen and women who for 6 days demonstrated rare sporting skills.
Minister of Information and Culture, represented by the Director General, National Council of Arts and Culture, Olusegun Ronshawe, and the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, gave their views on the importance of staging such a tournament in Nigeria.
We have support, we have commitment to growing sports, not only among our own population, but also to entire humanity.
That while others are reading negative things about Nigeria, they can see all the ambassadors here celebrating success of sport.
I'm very happy and congratulate Nigeria.
Team ECOWAS emerged the overall winner of the 2015 edition of the championship. The 2017 edition of the Sports Fiesta comes up in October.